Welcome to the Transmission Coaching Podcast, powered by ATRA. Today's podcast is sponsored by Gears Magazine, your magazine for the automatic transmission rebuilding industry. Be sure to get into Gears. Get your free subscription at gearsmagazine.com. Click on subscribe. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the Coaching Podcast. And now here's your host, Coach Lance Wiggins.
Welcome to the Transmission Coaching Podcast. My name is Lance Wiggins. It's a great day to fix transmissions. And with me again, as always, my co-host, Vanessa. Good morning, Vanessa.
Hey, you said again.
I say again all the thing. It's always a positive thing. It's always. Sure. I don't think I can do this without you, honestly. You know, listen, I'm a grounded kind of guy.
No more grounding unless we're talking about our teenagers.
That's right. So the 2018 Expo is approaching very quickly.
Don't remind me.
Yes.
August 1st, here we are.
Yeah, just like that. You know, it seems like only yesterday our guys in the Northwest were shoveling snow, and today they're sitting by sitting by the fire hydrants, letting the water out in the streets, and you know, it brought up a couple of ideas that I had to feature maybe some of our speakers that we're going to be having at the Expo. And one of them is John Parmenter, a good friend of ours.
Great guy.
And so I'm hoping that we can get him on the horn here and talk to him for a few minutes. You want to see if we can get that rolling here?
Yeah, let me try it.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, John and I have known each other for, I don't know, since 2001. So he's a really cool cat.
Good afternoon.
John Parmenter, Lance Wiggins.
How are you, boss?
I'm doing fantastic. Vanessa's here with me.
Hey, Vanessa, how are you?
How are you doing? I'm good. Thanks.
Can you hear us okay?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. John, welcome to the Transmission Coaching Podcast. This is a great day to fix transmissions, and as always, having you on with one of our renowned speakers. You know, I remember meeting you for the first time in 2001 at the Venetian, and I remember your slide projector that had the little broke.
Yeah, it was actually a rotary carousel. It dropped the slides here one at a time.
And Dave Score had to go over there and manually move it because your remote control battery broke or something like that.
Next slide, Dave. He was awesome. All the guys at ATRA are always there to help 110%. It's a good thing.
Yeah, you know, we could fix projectors too.
which is a good thing.
Oh,
it's amazing how much stuff has changed, you know, in a relatively short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny that you say that. We just went in to go fix one of the teenage boys' phone that, you know, that he never drops in the water or on the ground or on the concrete, right? And I was looking at the flip phones. You know, they had 3 flip phones sitting in the entire Verizon place, just 3, and they're the same 3 that they've had for the last 15 years. I'm thinking, there's something right about that.
They're literally giving them away, too.
$5,
yeah.
right? Take it.
Those flip phones can hold up, man. They hold up pretty good.
Yeah, you're
right. They do. So, John, this is, this will, you know, we're turning 2018, so I know for sure you've done at least 17.
Wow. At
least 17 expos, but I think you've done a couple before 2001. Is that right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure because I used to bring my son there. He's 24 now, so I used to bring him from school with my mom. He's probably 6, 7, 8 years old. Man. You guys would put him right in the front row. He'd be out of his coloring book and sitting there watching Dad work. And you guys were always really accommodating for that, and I can't thank you enough for that.
Nice.
So, John, you're out of Centereach, New York, and you own Centereach Transmissions, and you also work for Precision International. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
It's a pretty cool setup. I'm in the shop every day rebuilding transmissions. I have a shop foreman, I have a shop manager, and I'm actually on the bench all day. Like today, I got here at 6. This is now a little after 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'm having my lunch here from done with you guys. But Precision wanted an insight to a real builder in a shop to see, like, you know, how can they, what can they make better? Make this gasket better? Make this seal better? Can they, you know, adapt and change something? Can they do something? And they reached out to me a long time ago, and that's how I started to interface with Precision as far as on a weekly basis, giving them like reports of like what you should try to do this, you should try to do that. Early in the day, the old E4Ds, can you make the valve body gaskets thicker because the cases don't run true. And, they listen, actually, to some of the things, which is a pretty cool metamorphosis, I guess you call it. And then it went from that to from them having me do training classes for them as like a product support thing. And then I man a tech line for them. It's like, after I'm done with you guys on the phone, I'll go to my laptop and then see what the emails I have, and then I'll make phone calls to people, 10 or 15 people, and then try to help them with different problems in the industry. And that's not just kit related, but like even diagnostic related.
Boy,
which is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you're
and
a
really
busy
gives me
man.
the latitude to do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy Dennis Marshall over there, the president of the company, he just trying to just do what he can to help the industry, and he means it.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why I've been there for 20 years, because he just wants to do the right thing.
So prior to so you're building transmissions, you're at Centereach Transmission, you're building transmission, owner operator, and Precision reaches out to you, and then next thing you know, you're in front of 450 people in Mexico City at Pace. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, that was just in July. They send me all over the planet. Like I've been to Perth, Australia. I've been to Melbourne. I've been to Israel. I've been everywhere, and I've been to Moscow a couple times. And like the manufacturers now is sending transmissions around the globe, and they're going in different kind of chassis. So they're sending like GM's sending a rolling Suburban chassis with no body on it to Moscow, and then the Moscow is putting a different body on it, and they're calling it whatever they call it in Moscow. But the techs are great, but they haven't done up to speed on the technology that, because GM is changing at light speed, and so is Ford and Chrysler, and I have the interface with that. So I have, I'm doing dealer work for every product line dealer now, and I have access to all the information. So they send me to different places to help guys and teach them, latest stuff. And I give them, it's funny because I give them real world stuff. I give them stuff right from the shop. So like, we'll take pictures at the shop every week. I have two cameras in the shop, and my manager will download them to the laptop. And every week we'll have different note gathering and different things. And then I get stuff from the internet. And if the complaints, I'm getting complaints from Seattle, I'm getting complaints from San Antonio, I'm getting complaints from Frankfurt, and it's all on the same tranny, and it's all the same complaint. Then we have a pattern of failure. But now, I relate that to people and try to help the guys in the shop. This is the pattern of failure you're going to see in this 2015 CVT. You're going to see this problem. If this code's going to happen, you're going to open the tranny up and find this problem. And I give guys real world stuff in the classes that we actually see in the shop. It's not like smoke and mirrors. It's and sometimes the pictures aren't the best, and sometimes my language isn't the best, but I'm getting the message across.
What? You just because you're a New Yorker doesn't mean you have an accent. Come on.
It's just a little bit.
So yeah, but when you're overseas, or you're in Mexico, or you're in a different country that has a different language, you have. I'm assuming you have a translator, is that right?
Oh yeah, and if the translator meets me when I get, when the fleet of customs, there's usually a driver or a security guy, and then they take me to wherever I got to go, and then we do our thing and then come home. And that's the translator thing is good too, because like it's just in Mexico and teaching the class to Pace, and the translator is great, but the translator isn't a technician like us.
Yeah.
He's a translator.
Mm-hmm.
So like if he's not using the right word to describe something,
it's more literal than
people in the audience will stand up and get very passionate and like booing him.
You're like, what did you just say?
And like if you're watching this happen, I can't follow it, and then like they translate it out, and because they want to get the information out to the guys the right way, and that's what really, really, hits the juice in my head, and I'm helping people. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping guys like me. My son, he graduated college now. He's out on his own. People are trying. They got young kids. They're trying to feed their families and get a mortgage or move along in life. They're trying to get better. Trying to learn another tranny, trying to expand their earning capability, and I'm helping them. And to me, that this is what it's all about now, because I'm going to be 60 next year, believe it or not. And like, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all right. And like, I'm trying to help people now. I see this because this was Dale England was in this business. He was with ATRA, ATSG, and when we started out with him, he was always like that. He was always trying to help people, and like now I get it. You know, you don't get it when you're in your 40s. Now I guess as you get older, you get it. Like you, Lance, you're always, whenever you see me, hey John, how you doing? Are you okay? Is your mom set up okay? Is your son okay? Genuinely concerned to make sure. You know, I traveled from New York to California to try to teach a class and do the right thing. And you genuinely, you feel the concern, and it means something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this business is really about. It's just about trying to get the next generation up to speed and get them earning.
And that's it. You know, that attitude has actually morphed recently because, you know, it used to be, and you know this as well as I do, John, that you know, you had the no borrowing my tools on your toolbox, don't ask if you don't know, you know, and you know, hands off type thing. Like, you know, you go over, can I borrow a tool? No, get out of here. And that discouraged the younger guys. You know, it made them either, in my case, it made me hungry to make more money to buy my own tools, so I don't have to ask that crotchety old man over there next time. Or, you know, or you have the guy that says, no problem, you know, what are you working on? Walks over, helps you, and then you clean my tool, put it back, and you know, I think that's where, when I grew up in the business, I had a couple of guys that were like, get away from me, don't touch my tools. And then I had...
Yeah, exactly. All did, yep.
Yeah, the majority, though, of the dudes that helped me were more than happy to help. And I think that's probably why, you know, it just seems natural for me if somebody is asking for help to, go over there and do that. But you know as well as I do that that young group that's coming in, if they don't get that, I don't know, hand holding.
I was going to say it sounds like what these veterans are realizing, that they don't help these generations coming in. There's not going to be generation coming in, and that's what we're seeing. So that's really really commendable.
Like a half-assed mentoring kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And like you're right, Vanessa, because it's like we have to see that as far as the industry goes, you know, because like. Sometimes, like, I'm calling my parts guy up and I'm ordering parts, and I'm like talking to him about a problem with something we got going on. I'm like, yeah, I remember like reading a bulletin about something like this, and it was like, you know, how do we fix that? And my parts guy's pretty cool, and like you get busy in the shop, so like you go on to the next job, and then he called me back, hey John, you wrote the bulletin for that, 8 years ago. I'll text it over to you. You know, you just forget. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a million things going through your head. You know, you guys are trying to, run a company to help people globally, and you're trying to run an expo, and you're trying to do a million things, and you're trying to keep your hands in the industry, and it's you're juggling a million things. You got to pass something off to the next guy. Hey, do me a favor, take care of this for me.
Makes it a little easier, easier every now and then.
It's a part of growing old too, is to delegate a little bit of responsibility. You know, I just told my guys, I said, I got a 5-10, I got to do this afternoon. Do me a favor, get it out of the machine, clean it, lay it out for me. I gotta go talk to Lance Wiggins. Oh, you're talking to Lance? Tell him I said
there we go.
Lance Wiggins? The Lance Wiggins?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Rosenhaus. He works for me in the shop. And he knows Lance for a long time.
Big shout out to Mark. Big shout out to Mark. Hi, Mark. So tell us a little bit about the 2018 Expo presentation that you and Precision are kind of putting together for us. Oh, big shout out to my boy Vinny also from Precision.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Good.
Awesome. We lay out things. I lay out things that like are a big hit. So if I get a lot of questions on the internet and get a lot of surge on a lot of questions on stuff, because we get people at your expo that come from all over the globe. So like we had the medium duty stuff from AS68 RC. We had a lot of issues with some valve body problems, wiring problems. So I've got some really good detailed information as far as that goes. I got some really good information on the 60 CT 450 as far as the clutch goes, as far as setting up the clutch, as far as the spring plates and diaphragm plates blowing out and breaking. I just got done one of the video for the BMW all-wheel drive units. Some really good diagnostic information on that. I'm going to run this year. I'm going to run the first time, like you just said before. I had actual slides in the carousel back in the day. This year I'm going to actually run a video with sound. I'm just done recording the third one for this BMW. We're trying to get a clean sound bite on it, but we'll have a live road test video, noise, trying to get that out to the guys so they can help that out with them. And then also we got some information on some 7226 reset information for the adapters. A lot of guys are doing stuff on the Jeeps and having a problem getting their reset to take, and then having the cars come back after about 2 or 3 weeks with phantom codes in them, and they're trying to get that stuff cleared out. So we've had a lot of tech calls on that from Alabama, from Missouri, and I had a bunch of guys from South Dakota call. They had half a dozen Jeeps come back in a month. So we got some information on that, and we should be real good. Should be real interesting summer on this year.
I think what's nice is that when we, going back in time, thinking about the different topics of Expo, you've always had the from the bench mentality, which I think is really great because, it's like you mentioned in every single seminar I've ever seen you, it's real world stuff that we're dealing with today and in our shop throughout the year. And from our perspective, it's interesting how different speakers will come and present their material. From our perspective, we've always done like the brand new transmissions, and guys will tell you, well, we're not going to see that for 3 or 4 years. The nice thing about it is it complements the stuff you're doing now, and so
you have to balance it out because you never know. Like you'll get a burst of we had a burst of 8-speed GMs come in the springtime, and then we haven't seen one since. We had like a half a dozen of them, and then haven't seen another one since. And like we all laugh about it because they come in bunches. Yeah,
isn't that funny? And and I think what's interesting too is that, and we just ran into this recently. So remember when the 5R55 S&W valve body and solenoid body dilemma, sure. Right? Don't interchange, don't interchange, back and forth. I ran some tests. I said, look, factory parts from the factory and then non-factory parts from the aftermarket. There's a difference with when you ramp it up and see the difference in readings. And 0.2 of an ampere reads 20 psi, but on this one it reads 18. That can mean a difference over 0.5 of an amp when it's 2% less. Then next thing you know, you got you 10 pounds less, and then you got.
But if you don't have someone like you take the time to show that, you just can't blanketly say, this is the reason why. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you sit in the classroom and you listen to somebody like you talk about it, did the research on it, and has the information, now it's not just, well, Lance said so. Well, here's the work you did on it.
Right.
I spent 2 days figuring this out.
And you know what's funny is we had this conversation so that was I think 4 or 5 years ago when I did this, and then
I remember it.
And then just yesterday we're having this conversation about it because, Jared's like, no, that article's moot now, and the guys were like, what do you mean it's moot? That stuff was good info. I'm like, guys, that was 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure that the factories and the guys and the parts are a lot better than they were 5 years ago.
Issue out, yeah.
So articles that come out that are really hot at the time, like you mentioned, hey, we got a bunch of 8 speeds coming in, and then all of a sudden nothing happens. It's no different. The parts guys go, oh yeah, there was a problem there. Let's fix it.
And
then next thing you know, you don't hear about it ever again.
Which is what should happen.
Which is why we're here. Right?
I like what's nice. What's also I've seen is like when you go to the expo, I'll sit in other classes and I'll listen and I'll hear and I learn stuff. But like sometimes at the coffee break or at the lunch break or like the social things you guys have, sometimes I get more stuff out of that than anything else. Because
heard the same thing.
Listen to somebody.
That's great.
That's the big. Like you said before, you tell people don't call my toolbox. I'm talking I made friends with Jared Wong. He lives on the other coast like you guys up in the northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And like I went to a seminar one day, had lunch with him, and now I became friends with the guy. You know what I'm saying? And like you get someone else's perspective on something. Like it's cool when I travel around because I'll go to like the hills of Mexico or I'll go to Moscow and I'll see, go to a shop and I'll see somebody doing the same job I'm doing, but doing it completely different.
Yep.
Like going about rebuilding a unit, just doing it in a different, order of things, but he's getting the job done. And it's cool sometimes to listen to people and have a conversation and like everybody's friendly at your expo.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's there to learn and they're in good spirit. I've never ever had somebody be gruff or short with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's I guess that's the camaraderie that Expo brings out, and that's what brings me back there every year. You know what I'm saying? It's just the right kind of vibe. Speaking of
Expo, John, we're gonna get into something a little more fun. For the August issue of Gears, I wanted to do something a little different to kind of bring out the fun side of Expo, and I wrote up 10 things you didn't know. Some random facts, some things that you may know, but I'll run a couple through and let's see how many.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay, let's see. How many number of gallons of coffee do you think are consumed at Expo?
Oh man, you ran out last year because my class was the first class. I did 2 classes last year, and one was the first class on a Saturday morning, and they had. I'm trying to think now. They had about 4 or 6 urns in the hallway, and I remember I went out there, and it was the last drop, and the guys were scrambling and reloaded. So how many gallons of coffee? I'm going to think it's got to be over 100. I'm going to say 120.
186 gallons of coffee, and that's consumed. So, like, not just sitting there, as the coffee goes, like you just said.
180 gallons of coffee.
180
I think what we should do is, instead of getting like regular old Folgers coffee, we should get
Starbucks.
But we should get that the world's strongest coffee. What's it called? Death Wish coffee. Death Wish coffee.
Like Jolt coffee.
Yeah, like Jolt.
Listen, I got it.
The guys won't be able to use the pen and take notes.
I got a bag of Death Wish coffee for my buddy this weekend.
Like you're spiking the coffee.
And listen to this. I'm not kidding you. There's a warning label on the side that says 2 teaspoons for every 6 ounces of water that you have, and then regulate it down. I took 2.5 scoops, poured it in there, made 12 cups of coffee, had 1 cup, and was sweating as if I walked around the block 15 times. I was like, whoa, we're good.
You can't have people having a heart attack at the seminar.
We're good.
That's where you keep the regular coffee going.
Oh, my God.
The weekend is his business.
That might be a fun little experiment.
A couple of guys from New York, I got him. A couple of my friends from New York are saying, they come out there, you're running around trying to see people, and you're trying to get their stuff, and we're on East Coast time, and we're jammed up, and like they're going for coffee like crazy, and I'm like, guys, slow down, man. We got all day today. Take it easy. Have a cup of tea to start out the day.
All right, we got a couple more. Let's see. Okay, our tech manual, the Expo book. Let's see. 650 tech books were printed.
Okay.
Should we? Okay, total of a whopping how many thousands of pages?
So 650 books. It's got to be at least 300 pages in a book, probably 250, 300, somewhere in there. But I guess low before. So how many guess? 3 times 6, 180,000.
517,400 pages of tech.
I'm low again.
Woo!
So what are you doing to me?
I know. Well, poor John. He's like, I thought this was just a phone call. Like, I don't do math.
You know what's funny, John, is that
1.3 tons, by the way.
Yeah, 1.3 tons of paper. What's funny is that after every expo, and this is what kind of prompted Vanessa to do this. I think it's a great idea because we know what kind of goes into the show.
Sure.
Guys that the attendees that show up, all they know is you ran out of coffee, right? the book's too heavy, or whatever the case is, and they don't realize that. Listen, we're putting out the coffee as fast as we can get it. There was 180 gallons consumed, and we can't judge how fast people suck down a cup of coffee. Yeah. I mean, this just is what it is.
Well, you got number 2. You got a lot of bosses coming in. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, on paper, I'm the boss of the shop, but like, I'm not the boss of the shop. My foreman's running the shop, my manager runs the shop, so I bring them with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're used to like getting what they want. You know what I'm saying? Because they kind of handcuffs are off them, so they're used to like boom, 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 and then when something isn't like 100%, they're like, how come?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like,
and
guys, they got 500 people coming to the classroom in 4 different classrooms. Can you give them a break for a minute? Don't figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's just you have people like that from all over the planet that are used to, you know, being under the gun, having 30, 40 jobs in the parking lot, people calling all day, wanting everything done right now. You know, so like now you've got them captive audience, and they want it right now.
And I want my coffee.
Put a shotgun shell.
And I want my coffee, and I want it now.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's right.
And I'm guilty of it because like I run, and like this last couple of years, I'm noticing more and more. If I get there a little bit early, if I get, you know, and I talk to people a little bit more, and I, you know, socialize just a little bit more, and have time to talk to this guy, talk to that guy, get somebody's input on something. Talk to Bob Warnicke, see what's happening at Sonic, see what's going on. It's very beneficial to the whole package because now you're getting a vibe. Everybody in the industry is at your place. You know, you got the guys from Omega, you got the guys from Sonic, you got the guys from every place is there. So everybody, you can get a little. You know, take a minute. Say hello. What's happening? What are you guys doing? What's going on? What are you seeing?
That's right.
You get out of Expo what you put in.
Exactly. And like I'm gonna be the first one to raise my hand and say I was guilty back in the day because back in the day I taught my student class. I was busy to get back to work. I was busy to get back to my son. Now my son's grown. I'm married. I'm happy. You know, now my wife comes with me. We walk around. We see things.
Nice.
Talk to people. It's nice. You know what I'm saying? The people you talk to on the internet. Like I talked to you, Lance. I'll call and ask you, bounce things off of you, send you questions, and I get your input on something, you know, because you're seeing things with different eyes. And now I get to sit down and see you. I get to have a drink with you. Hey, how's it going? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I can make out with the 50110. You fix that grounding problem? Yeah, matter of fact, we did. You know, it's just nice to be able to do that with everybody in one place.
That's the beauty of network, man, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and you can't fix everything by yourself, you know. Like I'm training another golder behind me now, and like Friday afternoons, and you're trying to fix that one pain in the ass car, and you know how to fix it, but you just can't see it in your head. I text Jared, I text Jim Dial, I text you or email you, and the next thing you hear, hey John, loosen that bandit up a couple turns. You get the thing too tight, and you know, or something. Or like check that fuse at location 12, and like boom.
And that was it.
It's just that's the thing about Expo. You're going to learn a lot of stuff and also say hello to people because no one in this industry will turn your back. If you polite enough and nice enough and you call somebody for help, Jeff Pauly, guy will help you with anything. These people want to be nice to you. Just be nice to start out with. Hey, listen, can you help me for a minute? Yeah, sure, John, no problem. And I've seen that with everybody in this industry, from the big guys to the small guys.
And that's the beauty. That is the beauty of our industry. It really is.
Without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? The guy Pepe Torres over there in Texas. I had a friend of mine's car go down 100 miles from him. The guy drove it to him. He fixed it. Set the guy on the road. Boom. Took care of him. Took care of him like family. It's just a network of people that you talk to. That you know. One of these days you're gonna need a hand.
All right.
You know?
Right, one of these days it's going to be you, and as long as you're recipient of the others, and the golden rule, baby.
That's the whole thing about, you know, ATRA works like that. It works. You guys have really, you know, busted your chops to get it to where it is, and I applaud you for it.
Nice.
Thank you, John.
Thanks,
Thank you,
John. That's awesome. Because we think that, but it's nice knowing that. That others do.
You know. It's the truth, you know what I'm saying? And like you guys don't get to hear it enough because they know what he's doing. You know, right now you're looking at the Expo coming up in a couple of weeks now. It's like 10 weeks away, not even. And like you're trying to make everything perfect. And like Vanessa, I'm sure you got a notebook that's probably jammed with paper and what am I doing? And my computer's jammed with everything, notes. And you think probably up at 11 o'clock at night. Can they do this?
Schedule, man.
It does get harder and harder to sleep as we get closer and closer. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys are always, you know, I roll in there, you know, hey, John, here's your badge, hey, here's your stuff, hey, boom, how's it going? It's just nice.
Thanks, John.
Nice.
That's
Appreciate
awesome. Got a couple more fun facts. This one has to do with Dennis, but don't worry, it won't be too difficult. Okay, number of steps taken by Dennis Madden, ATRA CEO, during the 4 days of Expo.
Oh, he don't stop. Because I watch him, because he'll walk into the room and then pace to the back of the room and then walk back out and then check every room.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to guess we're going to be in the miles, so we're going to be in 4 days. I'm going to guess 20 miles in 4 days.
Wow, pretty close. So 50,566 steps, which equals 23.22 miles.
Ooh,
there you go. Okay,
that's nuts.
I was close to that.
You're getting closer.
Yeah, and you believe it too, like you said. You see him. He's
he makes
all
a
over.
great barbecue sauce too, by the way.
Yes.
Doesn't he, though?
You should breed some, yeah.
Yes, he does.
I made him pull one out and put it in the refrigerator here at the office, so we have that extra.
We all have it. It's like
so when I bring my ribs in after the weekend, I've got my barbecue sauce.
There you go.
All right, last one here, John. All right, so when looking for a venue to host Powertrain Expo, an exhibit hall of at least 85,000 square feet is needed. In addition, 25,000 square feet of meeting space is needed to house the seminars, luncheon, and receptions. So, this is not so much of a trivia question as it is just saying that basically Powertrain Expo needs 2 football fields of space to do what we need to do. So no wonder why we've got 23 miles of walking.
Yeah, well, it's bigger than you think it is, you know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't get that, you know what I'm saying? And you've got the whole industry coming from the planet converging on one location, so you need all that space to do it. I remember you had it in Disney World in Orlando one year a long time ago, and I remember you ran out of space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a few places that's happened too.
Yeah,
and
few
that's,
years
that's one of the. I think
we're selling out of exhibit space every year. Yeah,
that's one of the things where we have to take into consideration like the location. Like everybody goes, wow, if you came back to the East Coast, well, Rhode Island was great and Orlando was great, but in some of those locations, there's just no place to put us. Like you think about, well, if Precision and TransStar only wanted one booth, which I don't think they'd be happy with.
Yeah.
No.
but we can go there. We can go to Hilton Head.
And I get asked the question.
Yeah, no, you can't. And like Rhode Island. Rhode Island was a terrific venue and a terrific location. It was right after 9/11, and there was no planning for that one. That was that was a terrible day in American history. But I mean, you guys sourced a great venue for that in Rhode Island. That was really nice. But and as much as people say, you get people different. I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. You know what I'm saying? And I go to Vegas and I walk around and we see some shows and we go get some food and we have a good time in my life. But
there's still plenty of other things to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I rented the Harley last year. Me and Joe Rivera went for a ride. We had a great time. This year we're going to go to Zion. I mean, there's a lot of other things. You can't focus on the gambling. There's a lot more to do in Vegas than just that.
Exactly.
All right, the next time you guys decide to rent a Harley and go for a ride, can you hit me up here, buddy?
Lance is looking upset over here.
I think Joe went and called you, and you were up to your elbows and getting stuff done.
I'm gonna have to get up to my elbows and get stuff done with you guys. I like that better.
Yeah,
I gotta delegate. I gotta delegate more often, John. You just told me that.
Big thing of the year. You got to be there. Everybody wants to see your face.
That's right.
See that big guy walking around.
That's right. All right, John. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It's
it was nice to hear your voice, Vanessa. Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you so much.
You got it. You have a good day today, guys.
You too.
Thanks, John. See you later. Well, that was fantastic. It was good having John on board there. He's a great guy. I look forward to seeing him at the.
Yeah, I loved his perspective on Expo. Obviously we all know John as being a speaker, and that is a great example of how he doesn't just do his 2 hours the front of the room and take off. He fully enjoys Expo for what it is.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of every moment.
Exactly.
And I like the way he talked about the networking, because I think that is. I think everybody has the same perspective.
I was really happy to hear that because it is important to us. We talk about that all the time. Yeah, it's important to cram in the tech and the management and this and that, but we understand that there's more to it than just sitting in a chair.
Right.
So, we try to make sure that we've got some time for them to enjoy each other.
Well, this year during the technical shows, there's a little bit more time in between for the breaks. I'm sure that we'll have plenty of urns of coffee for the arts in the world, yes. and the guys that and the John Parmenters make sure that we get that coffee up there for them and keep them awake all day and enjoy the 2018 Expos. So we look forward to seeing you guys there.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great day to fix transmissions. Let's keep fixing transmissions together. Until next time, enjoy.
Bye.